Hello and welcome to the Better in Business podcast. Today's episode, I've just wrapped a conversation with Vance Morris. You can find Vance at vancemorris.com. So Vance has got a really broad business background. Like a lot of successful entrepreneurs, he has been there, done that. He's had success, he's had failures. Goodness gracious, I think maybe we learn as much or more from our failures as our successes. But most of the successful entrepreneurs that you'll meet around the world have had giant failures as well as sound success. And one of the ways that they sustain success is through having some failures. So anyway, Vance has been there, done that. And honestly, the conversation we just wrapped around customer experience, but particularly how to keep in touch with your customers and create an experience in a simple way that can rocket your sales and marketing results. Me personally, I see entrepreneurs double their net profit with this strategy, and it should absolutely be at the heart and soul of your marketing strategy. So this conversation that I had with Vance has got to be one of my favorites yet on the Better in Business podcast, because I talk about this stuff, about client retention, about keeping in touch with your customers, your database every day. But I did get a chance to go into more of some of the nuances. I'll even explain in the podcast tiny little things that I've done along the way to rocket the customer experience and the kind of results that you get from it. And one of the other really nice things is this really isn't so much about sales and selling and marketing as it is about actually enjoying the experience with our customer, because that's definitely how I've gone about it. So it's about authenticity, it's about value, and it's about solving problems. I truly believe that selling has been replaced by helping our clients self-assess. So I say selling is out, self-assessing is in. And so if you're someone who gets a little icky around the whole marketing and selling, then this is great for you too, because I do think we exist in a world today where selling is more about enjoying the experience with your customer. Okay, so fantastic episode. Really looking forward to bringing it to you. Let's jump into it now. You've tuned into the Better in Business podcast, and I'm your host, Jeannie Savage. I'm a multi-award winning business veteran and head of the Strategic Bookkeeper Network. My network of strategic bookkeepers is dedicated to helping entrepreneurs do better in business. This podcast aims to challenge your thinking. If you're not thinking the right way, how can you act the right way? Each episode will dive into key drivers of success, which I also call the rules of the game. Learn the rules and play to win. Let's go. I like to start every episode by reminding you that it is globally recognized that pillar number one for success is up-to-date, accurate bookkeeping, which is the only way you can see how your business is performing in terms of profit and cash. If your books aren't right up to date, visit betterinbusiness.global, drop me a line and I'll connect you with a certified strategic bookkeeper. Fire your bookkeeper and hire a strategic bookkeeper. Bookkeeping is a cost, whereas strategic bookkeeping is an investment that averages a 10x return on the fees. Welcome to the podcast, Vance.
Thanks so much, Jeannie. I appreciate it. We're going to have some fun today, I think.
I think we are, because it is maybe my favorite marketing topic. Okay, before I ask Vance to introduce himself, today's conversation is definitely in the marketing space, but it's going to be really about the diamonds at your feet. So this is about thinking about your customer base. And when I saw on my notes that we're talking about customer experience, customer journey. Honestly, I'm obsessed with this stuff. Even though I'm more of a hunter than a farmer, it's not the most natural thing to me. Literally every time I go and buy products, services, I forensically dissect customer experience. I look at what people get right, what they get wrong. And today we're going to talk about something I talk to my clients a lot about. It's like, okay, how's your database? Is it in order? Are you keeping in touch with all your customers, your past customers, everyone in your database? I call it manners marketing. So today we're going to dive into a conversation so we can understand why it is important for you to value this, your existing customers, your past customers, your database, over and above everything else in terms of marketing. That's my opinion. So before we get into that, Vance, would you introduce yourself and just tell us anything that's in your heart to share?
Sure thing. Well, a quick background. I spent a little over a decade working for the Mouse, Walt Disney World down in Orlando, Florida. So that was the basis for everything that I do now. It was a great job to have as my first job in my career because it really did set the foundation for everything that I was going to do after that. I've got a history primarily in hospitality, both restaurants and hotels. And currently, and for the last 18 years, own some home service businesses as well. So the trades that you might know of. And I think, as a coach and consultant, owning those businesses currently and still having them up and running gives me a little bit of street cred or credibility because I'm not just a coach. I'm not just a consultant. I actually have some real businesses that I need to make sure that they work. They have real employees. So it's not just I'm spouting off theory or something I read in the textbook or something like that. So you have to watch out. And you said, speak what's in my heart. And what I find a lot is that people, they engage with the wrong type of coach or consultant, one that is, maybe very nice on paper, but is not going to be able to really help you move the needle. And there's plenty of them out there that are phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. I firmly believe, though, every business owner should have some kind of coach in their corner, not just cheering them on, but guiding them through what needs to happen, whether it be a marketing coach or a leadership coach or something along those lines. To me, all the great performers, whether it be sports or entertainment, have coaches. And I just think you need to make sure you find the right one for you. So I'll get off my soapbox on coaches.
No, I love that. And I think the key points for me, number one, I love hearing about your background because it makes so much sense. Like Disney, customer experience, home services. I'm like, okay, lived experience, brand story. And then on the coaching, my goodness, I'd love to just sit on that for a second. You're right. Success leaves clues. I've got 2 businesses. I now get to live into my life's purpose. It's amazing. Fills my cup. I can leave this kind of happy. And I invest a lot of money, a lot of my time for me and my team on acquiring intelligence into our business via programs, which are coach-led, courses, resources, education, all of this. Money that, some entrepreneurs I know just wouldn't spend, I invest. And I get this massive return because we need to team up, right? And that is what a coach is. We need to then get ourselves educated, thinking the right way rather than the wrong way. And then after that, we need to be probably building out collateral like, email things. And then it's about implementing that and getting the support once again from the coach, from the network. And honestly, I call this the 5 big keys. So if you are listening and you're trying to do it all yourself and you're not investing, success leaves clues, and successful people spend a percentage of their revenue. I do spend a percentage of my revenue. So for me, it would be in the tens of thousands a year I reserve for education, for coaching, for programs. And it's exactly what you need to do. You can start small. If you're a little entrepreneur, you can invest a little bit, but you must do this.
Get a book. Start with a book if that's what you need. It doesn't have to be, there's a lot of coaches that I wish I would have met, like Jim Rohn or Zig Ziglar. They're all dead right now. And the only way I'm going to get coaching from them is, I got to read their books. And it's still relative today. But yes, I firmly believe you invest, and it is an investment. And it also gives you time to work on the business and not in the business when you are in that mindset of training or education and learning. It's going to take your business to places that wouldn't if you didn't invest in the training.
Definitely, 100%. So thank you so much for mentioning that. It's always good to hear it said by someone else because I harp on about it all the time. So jumping into what we're talking about here, about database, about customer experience, one of the ways I love to think about sharing is number one, educating through story, and then thinking about what are we talking about here? Why is it important? And the how, I think we've never got time in one podcast, right? I think we can do a little on the how, but then giving direction to reach out to you, to work with someone to understand more in the how. Like you said, even if that's, I'm going to point you to a book, I'm going to point you to more education. So I'd love for you, Vance, to share with us, your ideas around what we need to do and share your own stories of clients, anything that you've got that can help us.
Yeah, certainly. First and foremost, and we talked a little bit before we started recording about, why people are always trying to get new customers, always new leads, more leads, new customers. And what I tell my clients that I work with is, yes, you do need new in order for your business to grow. but you don't need a lot. And if you're not focused on your existing customers, you're not going to grow profitably. And so right now, if you went to Walt Disney World today, 80% of the people at Disney today have been there before. It's an enormous number. And only 20% are new. So I'm thinking to myself, well, if it's good enough for Disney, well, that sounds like a good ratio for me as well. Because getting a new customer is extremely expensive. And you need to know your numbers. And I stress that to every business person. You need to know your numbers. And one of the numbers you need to know is how much does it cost to get a new customer in the front door? I saw my July numbers last week. And for my home service businesses, one of which is a carpet cleaning, cost me $126 to get a new customer. Now, that's a lot of money, especially if your minimum charge is only $199. Well, it leaves me with $70 to pay the technician, put gas in the van, insurance, overhead, all that stuff. On the flip side, it only cost me $22 a year to market and maintain my database. $22. So when I clean for a prior customer, I'm already $100 more profitable because I didn't have to go out and buy the client again. So, I mean, it's absolutely vital. And I think that when you look at the customer experience, to me, sets the stage for your customer retention. So if you have a bad experience, well, no matter what you do on the retention side, it's probably not going to help. The experience really sets the stage for that. And once people, the whole know, like, and trust, once people are delighted with your service, once they are going out and talking about your service, now you've gone from just a customer to a raving fan. And those are the ones that are going to help you market your business. Practically, and as well, let me take one more step back. Through those experiences, your business or you need to create an emotional connection with your customer.
Yes.
If you can create an emotional connection, they are never leaving you. And I'll give you a quick example. So one of the strategies I use to maintain my database is a print newsletter. So it's a 4-page print newsletter, gets mailed out every month. And I shamelessly use my children in my marketing. Now, they're all kind of grown now, so they're not cute anymore. But when my daughter was, my daughter's 18 now, and she's the youngest, and she was cute when she was in a little ballet outfit right before a recital. And I would take a picture and I would put it in the newsletter every single year. And so from the time she was 5 years old to the time she was like 12 or 13, a picture of Emma in her tutu was on the front cover of my newsletter. And we were in the grocery store. I think she was like 9 or 10 years old. And we were just walking around doing our shopping. And a woman comes running up to my daughter and says, "Oh my God, Emma, how was your recital?" And my daughter and I looked at each other like, "Who's this nutty lady? We need to go hide in the frozen food section." And then I'd think, oh, wait, she's one of my customers.
Yeah.
She has watched my children grow up. I've created an emotional connection with this person. She is never leaving until she either dies or moves away. That is what you need to really put a big fence around your customers to keep them in and your competitors out. So yeah, tons of strategies to work on that. But I think it really comes down to how do you treat them? How do you make them feel? And can you create this bond, this emotional connection, either through your service or through them consuming your product, etc.
I love this. So I heard, and I'm such a 5-point plan girl, right? So I heard number one, customer experience. And if we made that really simple, right? Because I work really hard on this in all my businesses and feedback is my fuel. It's kind of making sure that from the first time they ever get in touch with us through to invoicing them, taking their money, delivering the service, making sure that the expectations are met, always 1% over deliver. Only has to be 1% over deliver rather than 1% under deliver. Now, that would be step one, just making sure that beautiful, on point, my expectations were met. Actually, they were exceeded and always improving, right? Whenever we hear a little feedback, it's like, okay, I can improve. Number two, there's the emotional connection. And actually, Vance, I was just doing something before the podcast, and the way I guess I feel like I create emotional connection with my clients in my bookkeeping practice, for example, as you can imagine, I care about them a lot. So this morning, I did a quick video that I asked my manager to send just to our clients in this case, right? And it was just, I'm tapping you on the shoulder and I'm going to remind you about cybercrime. And I'm actually going to recommend that you do these two things, then go back, listen to this podcast because you are an entrepreneur, okay? You've got a lot going on. I'm only sending this to my clients. I just want to help protect you. This is what I'm doing to protect myself. This is why, this is how it works for me. If this is not enough, this 5-minute video, just reply. If you need me to run a lunchtime workshop, I'll do that for you. But it's the care factor, right? I'm not even sending this to people that aren't clients. I said to them, you're in my velvet rope. I'm always thinking about you. I want to prevent this happening to you. And so it's not staged, right? It's about, I care about you. I want to connect with you. Humans are here to connect. It's not transactional. So there are a million ways, depending on the industry you're in, that you can create, whether it's a golf day, whether it's a newsletter, including your kids. I give you a podcast every fortnight to help you do better in business. Whatever it is, that emotional connection, it's very important, and it's old school, right? It's sales 101.
And I think that when you look at creating these connections, a lot of business owners feel like, oh, I shouldn't bother my customers, or they don't want to hear from me.
Yes.
And a lot of that is true if all you're doing is selling to them. So if the only time your customers hear from you is when you want their money, that's not a great relationship. So you have to mix your marketing up with things that are adding value, very similar to your podcasts. What can you add value to your customers' lives? And then you can ask for a sale or offer a promotion or some kind of call to action, but not all the time, because people will just get tired. And Disney, I use them quite a bit in my business. I always say Disney is a master at extracting money from your wallet and leaving you feel happy about it and wanting to come back again and again. And when you break this down, Disney is a master at extracting money. So yes, they are, premium priced. They are certainly not bashful about their ticket prices and things like that. And the opportunities for you to buy things are everywhere, but they give you that feeling of, I'm happy that I'm spending my money with you. And that's that feeling that you need to invoke from your customers. And then the whole do it again and again is that repeat business. And as I mentioned at the beginning, 80% of Disney's customers right now have been there before, 80%. So they know what they're getting into. They know that it's going to be a premium priced product. They know that they're going to spend quite a bit, but they know also that they're going to be happy, that they're going to create memories. And so all of these you can extrapolate and adapt into a bookkeeping business, a carpet cleaning business. It doesn't matter. It's not so much trying to copy what Disney does as it is adapt the strategies that they have into what we do on a daily basis.
Yeah, exactly. Any industry. So we've got number one, customer experience. So do what you said you'd do in the time frame you said you'd do it, and do it well. And just make that customer experience really lovely. Number two, emotional connection. Now, number three, if we're talking about keeping in touch with our customers, our clients, one of the things that I wanted to extract from what we just talked about, I've got 3 little points to keeping in touch: authenticity, value, and solving problems. Selling is solving a problem, right? And generally when we are selling something, we're either helping someone do better in business or do better in life. Like Disney is generally do better in life, like have fun, have a day out. Money actually buys things that give us that lovely experience, that reprieve. And if what we do is seek to provide value in an authentic way, and we remove that, oh, I don't want to seem salesy, right? And we think, well, actually, I'm not selling, I'm solving a problem. Yeah, like when you do the carpet cleaning, you're not just solving the dirty carpet problem, you're solving the, I don't have time to deal with this. I want my home to be beautiful. I want to come home and look at my carpet and feel relaxed and my shoulders will drop. Like the carpet is the drill, isn't it? It's not the beautiful thing you put together. So I just wanted to give just a reminder around of that, because where I see businesses go wrong is they hear, I should hit my database. Suddenly they start sending things out and it's not connecting and it's not providing value. And I think if we come back to authentic, think about the customer experience. If I'm the customer, what would I like to get from you via email, via text message, via post, via YouTube, via the Facebook group, whatever suits your business, but get into the head of your customer rather than the head of your entrepreneur, so you can think about that. For example, a chiropractor, right? We go to the chiropractor, we get our neck adjust, but what are we doing every day? So if the chiropractor says, well, actually, I've got a YouTube channel and on there you can do this. I've even got a private Facebook group where you can come and join, and in there you can ask me questions. So there is so many ways in this day and age, honestly, that we can keep in touch with our customers relevant to the industry we're in. But don't think I'm an entrepreneur, I'm sending stuff. Think I'm my own customer. What is helpful to me, right?
Yep. And one of the biggest sins, I think, in marketing is being boring. So when you are putting these kinds of things together, You don't want to be vanilla. You don't want to be beige. You just got, blending in. People want to be entertained these days. I mean, it's just what our society places the emphasis on. Kim Kardashian sneezes and half the world knows about it. It's just what we as a society place value on. So I think, again, our customers don't want to be bored and we don't want to bore them. So how can we entertain them while we're also delivering the value? One of the sections I have in my newsletter that's entertaining, and really has no other job except to entertain, is stupid criminal stories. So I go and I find a criminal, and he's just done something ridiculously dumb, like leave his business card on the bank teller's desk when he robs the bank, and just silly stuff like that. People love that. And the reason I know is that after like 3 years, I got tired of running that part of the newsletter. So I switched it up. I don't even want to remember what I put in there. We got angry phone calls saying, where is the stupid criminal story? We love that. So that immediately, to me, automatically said a couple of things. Well, one, people are actually reading the newsletter, which is, you always wonder about that. And two, people like to be entertained. And so you wrap that, your emails, if you're doing that, you should have some kind of story at the beginning. It doesn't have to be long, but just something that's setting it up like, hey, I noticed in the paper today that there is a festival going on in the next town over, and we think it'd be worthy, kids are going to love it. And then, oh, by the way, we're going to have a booth there. You should come visit us at the fair or at the event.
Yeah, because you're dealing with families too. Again, coming back to who am I serving? You know what I mean? At our bookkeeping practice, I deal with entrepreneurs. And so was something I might do, Vance, for, again, that authentic. I just read for everyone, Jet Walker launch formula, mind blown. I know the old saying is an existing customer is 10 times more likely to buy from you than a new customer. He says, because he's a real data guy, he says the data is 15 times more likely. But something I do for my entrepreneurs, I might have read a great book and I just quickly do an email. And I say, oh my goodness. And it could even be a book for life. And like, it could be a decluttering book. But if I think this book's going to change lives, I'm like, you have to read this. It's phenomenal. I just finished it. You can do the summary book on this app. You can do the audio book on this app, or if you're a reader. But I just thought I'd let you know because I found it just mind blowing. And again, finding a way, because what I find is in my business, we're not entertaining as much, but it's still getting the adrenaline going. So when I said that cybercrime one, it wasn't overly entertaining, although it's a video. I love to do video and audio clips over text, but it gets the adrenaline pumping. I guess there's an element of fear. And I think you're right. You need to stand out rather than blend in. You need to find a way to actually get people listening. Like the entertaining thing is fantastic. Another industry might just find connecting to a real deep problem, a real deep fear, but with authentic, helpful content rather than making it boring. And then, Vance, I'd love to know, I kind of want to segue into how you work with clients, because I don't know that myself. How do you help entrepreneurs? Do you help people all over the world? What do you do? How do you help them with this?
Yeah, I ask myself the same question when I wake up every morning. What do I do? I've tried describing it to people and they're like, I don't know what you do, Vance. So essentially, I'm a business consultant, business coach. Yep. I'm not a lead generation specialist, so I don't do anything on the front end. I know how to market, but I've really focused with my clients on the customer journey. And I work with them. We map out the entire journey. And every point on the map is where your company has an interaction with the customer or the patient or the guest, whatever your choice is. Yeah. And from the beginning all the way to the end of service and into your retention efforts. So it's more of a circle than it is anything else, because people are going to come back and buy from you again. And so we look at all of these different points. And when we're talking customer experience, we're like, okay, which one of these, if we're really focused on it, is going to have the most impact on the business, whether that be profitability, whether that be saving in time, whether the employees have a better experience, which then they'll deliver a better experience to the guests, and really figure out, great, which one's going to do that? And we prioritize them. And then we work on them. I am a firm believer that, especially if you have employees, they probably will have better ideas about this than you will all by your lonesome trying to come up with it. I learned that at Disney. I mean, Disney, we involve the cast members in a lot of decisions and in a lot of process improvement because they do the job every day. They know because they talk to the guests every single day. So certainly including them. And I would have a session, I hate the word meeting, but a session that is dedicated to just improving your customer experience based on those points on the customer journey. And you do a brainstorming session. No idea is a bad idea. And for some businesses that still use the telephone, that might be their immediate point that, like, oh my God, if we could just get answering the phone down and make that an experience, we could really see a big turn. Real quick story. I worked with a group of insurance agents, and there was one in particular. He was in a town, and there was probably 50 or 60 other insurance agents in his town, and they all kind of blend in. I'm sure in Australia, it's essentially the same in the US. It's not a very exciting business. It's insurance, but he had no way of standing out. He was in a highly commoditized niche. So we did the brainstorming session, and we're in his office, and we're looking around, and I'm like, we really like rock and roll. He's got autographed records on the wall and guitars and band posters and all this stuff. And so we started to kind of brand him as the rock and roll insurance agent. And one of the big clogs was the telephone. People were just calling, hey, can I get a price? Hey, can I get a price? And that wasn't doing anything, and it was just clogging up his phone. So when you call a business like that, usually it's, thank you for calling Dave's Allstate. How can I help you? I mean, it's just boring. We've all heard some version of that. One of his employees said, well, look, if you're the rock and roll guy, we should probably really lean into that. And her idea was, thank you for calling Dave's Allstate, the agency that rocks. So it's a completely different way of answering the telephone. It's memorable. And if you remember, your marketing is designed to do two things: attract the people you want to do business with and repel the people you don't want. Yeah. And just by answering the phone that way, he was sifting, sorting, and screening out people that would just not make a good customer for him. And that's just one little tiny piece that we could continue to go on.
Yeah, but I love that because I love mapping out secret sauce. So you're mapping the customer journey, but then you're prioritizing. I love this. And lately, Vance, because I once heard retail is detail. I grew up in retail, but business success is detail. Business success is what you're talking about there. It's a tweak to how you answer the phone. In my bookkeeping practice, which I've had 15 years, and I have the strategic bookkeeper network as well as another business. In my bookkeeping practice, I just incrementally improved the customer journey over time. And one of the things that I did was I realized when new customers wanted to inquire, it was very important that the phone was answered immediately by a receptionist, whereas an existing customer or even someone referred, they're usually prepared to wait. So if they call my mobile and I don't answer, that's okay. But as part of that customer journey, I just got a nice, affordable 1-800 with a 24-hour answering service that my son, when he was 10, thought was hilarious, and he would ring them at 10 o'clock at night. I think they blocked him in the end. Anyway, so no matter when someone called, they got an immediate answer by someone that, was our virtual reception. They were able to immediately take a message. And then I created an experience funnel where I would get a special tone to alert me that person had contacted. So I could call them back within seconds, and then it was all predictable. So then they would say, wow, that was really quick. Everything should be strategic, right? That was really quick. I'm very impressed. So number one, you had just exceeded my expectation. From there, I refined the customer journey again and again, even to a tiny thing where, and again, for everyone, listen up, business success is detail, and we're talking customer journey. So Vance, one thing that I did is I used to ask new clients, they would say, oh, I need a bookkeeper. And I'd say, okay, well, what do you need? It sounds simple, but here's the massive tiny thing I did to explode this experience. I implemented just more of a structured needs analysis, even saying, let me grab my needs analysis. Immediately they knew this is professional. She's paying attention. So again, the experience elevated. Then I got rid of what do you need, because I realized I actually don't know, and I need to make an emotional connection, exactly what you talked about. So I changed what do you need to tell me about yourself. And can you imagine? And every bookkeeper in my network does it. And they're mind blown with this little shift. From that day onwards, nobody ever asked me my fee again. Nobody ever said, what do you cost?
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
And when you do provide these experiences, I don't want to say that price becomes completely irrelevant, but it certainly melts away.
Yes.
And when you do present
your
price, and when you do present your price, it's like, really? That's great, because they've now invested their time with you and they've learned the value that you're going to deliver. And all of a sudden the price is it's not the only factor that they're talking about. It just becomes one of many, and you don't have to overcome that objection.
Yes, because the right customers for us are generally, price is not the only driver. And I know because, again, I forensically dissect. And last time I got a carpet cleaner, what I find is a lot of entrepreneurs self-assess for their clients, right? So they think, oh, they're going to be price sensitive. And if you're a price sensitive person, you treat others as you want to be treated. And the truth is, as this amazing etiquette coach that I had on my podcast said, we should treat others as they want to be treated. Now, I have got a beautiful home that I have invested a lot of money in, and a carpet cleaner will come into my home and they can't even realize she's probably not a price sensitive lady. Like, she just spent about $500,000 renovating her home. She spared no expense. Everything is perfect. And yet when I say to the carpet cleaner, I said, oh, okay, thank you. The carpet's beautiful. Are you going to come every 6 months, or what will you do? Now, you can imagine that should have been a 2-second answer. Like, yes, ma'am, we're booking you in every 6 months. We'll see you. And it was 10 minutes of, well, you could call me, or you probably don't need it done every 6 months, and you could extend it for 12 months and you'll save some money. And I was just like, I'm already losing time on this conversation. And
he's losing money by having this conversation. He should just close his mouth because he's losing money talking to you. And his first thing should have been not you asking, but him saying, okay, great. We're really happy that you're pleased with the service. When can we get you back on the schedule? We recommend that you do it every 6 to 9 months. When works for you.
Yeah. Actually, my window guy does it. He charges twice as much as everyone else, and his job is twice as good, right? And they're book solid all the time because his customer experience is exceptional and a bit emotional. It's him and his beautiful wife, and it's just gorgeous. Number one, you got to wait the first time you're a new customer. It's like, we're booked out for 3 months in advance, but we would love to take care of your home for the rest of your life. And then they book in, and just lovely on the phone. And then they get you booked in, you get your reminder. They come and they're like, right, we will literally be back in 6 months. And they just say, we're just going to let you know, say a week ahead and then a day ahead. And if you need to change, we'll do that. But if we don't have you booked in, you're going to miss out. And you just feel like you have floated through the service. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's, how does a window cleaner make me feel happy?
Yeah, definitely. And that's the kind of experience that will make you talk about them. Again, with existing customers, they become your marketing force. People are going to talk about you. You might as well give them something good to talk about, because that's just going to help you in your marketing efforts. And I think that a lot of people forget that, oh, I get all my business from referrals. Well, do you really? Because if you did, you wouldn't be spending thousands of dollars on Google pay-per-click every month if you were really doing that. And so if your experience is really there, and you have a mechanism to remind people that, hey, our business is built on referrals. Do you have somebody in your family or in your neighborhood that you think could use our services? And you get that when they're on that high of just having the service completed or just having them consumed your product, and they're ecstatic about the results. That's the time to sell them additional stuff and to get your referrals.
Yes. And I'm going to encourage every listener, as an entrepreneur, I'm going to encourage you that you 100% have to, whether you are working with Vance or you're not, you need to map your customer journey. You've heard me talk about mapping mine. The clients I work with, it is for me to tell you that they double their net profits in a year with this kind of work. Okay. And then the cost of this kind of marketing is so low, it's actually more fun. And so I'm going to say you have to 100% non-negotiable map your customer journey. You have to look at the points like I just talked about. It's like, I answer the phone, I tweak a question I ask, I do this, I do that, right? You have to find those prioritized points in the journey that you may not realize are the diamonds at your feet that could explode your business. And then, like I say, the impact. I remember working with a lovely guy. It's a past collab. We still keep in touch. He rang recently. He said he misses a bit of Jeannie, and Jeannie doesn't come cheap. I tell everyone that now because I make you see bunnies and rainbows, right? Anyway, we were chatting, and when I was working with him and he was having trouble with lead gen, Vance, again, like, if you go to a digital marketer, they're going to do fancy schmancy, et cetera, et cetera. And actually, I said to a digital marketer, that's a pretty page you created for him. And he said, thank you. And I said, I don't see it generating any business. And he said, neither do I. Horrifying. So I said to this client, do you have your database in order? And he's like, really, why? I said, are you keeping in touch with your customers? Not really. Why? Okay. So we're just going to reach out to all your customers and say hi. And then we're just going to check if, in this case, it was air conditioning. And I said, I assume they should be cleaning it. Yeah. Okay. We better organize that for them. And then they might actually have a friend and he was like, oh my goodness, I did it. It was no cost and it generated all this business, but also it generated advocacy. Like, thank you so much for reaching out. Yes, my air conditioning is working really well. I didn't know that it needed cleaning. That'd be great. And my friend Sally needs some too. And actually, can we put one in another room? It's like manners marketing, the diamonds at your feet, the simple stuff, and it just explodes, right? Yeah.
Not typical. The examples that both of us have provided, there's no big investment of money. Doing this is not going to cost you really anything except a little bit of your time and being genuine. You're genuinely checking in on the welfare of your customers. I think the air conditioning one is a great example. So I haven't been in my businesses in a number of years. I have a general manager who runs them, but I'll still do 20 phone calls a month. And I will call and I'll just say, hi, how are things going?
Oh, I love this.
That's it. And no ulterior motive, no agenda. Just, hey, we're just checking in. How are things? How are you? People are just like, really? You don't want to sell me anything? No, I'm just checking in on you. You've been a customer with us for a number of years. I want to thank you for that, certainly. And just checking in.
Yes, a bit like I did with the cybercrime video. It's just like, hey, I was just thinking of all of you. You need to be across this, right? Because like you, I'm not heavily involved, but I love to just keep in touch. So now I'd like to know, because I do really encourage my entrepreneurs to get this stuff right and invest in it and start that journey of learning and taking action and so on. How can everyone reach out to you and find out how to work with you? What does that look like?
Sure. Well, it's certainly through my website. You can go to vancemorris.com, make it real easy on everybody. And from there, it's kind of a pick your own journey, whether you're looking for coaching or one-on-one consulting.
Oh, your book as well. I'm looking at your free book. Love it.
I will even give you my book for free.
Amazing. So go to the website and kind of start to choose your own adventure from there.
Yep.
Fantastic. And everyone can keep their eye out. So in the future, I'd like to think it might be in the next 12 months, we will run the first ever Better in Business online summit. So we'll give 3 days of amazing speakers and content. As soon as you and I met Vance and we started talking about this, I'm like, summit, I can't wait to get Vance in the summit. That would be so fun, because I think content is honestly all of the marketing stuff. This is what I think. I love brand because brand is how we connect. But honestly, this is the stuff and it's mind blowing. And every day, my clients say to me, Jeannie, I had no idea. This stuff is just game changing. Yeah.
Actually, I did a small tour of Australia. I was in Manly Beach, Sydney, and I can't remember the other town. There were a couple of business coaches actually flew me over. And I spent 10 days there doing seminars and trainings and things like that. So yeah, a great time. I'll even travel to Australia if you really want me to.
Beautiful. That Manly's gorgeous. I'm on the Gold Coast in Queensland, but Manly is beautiful. And we're doing one at the Strategic Bookkeeper, but then we're going to start to get ready for a really great Better in Business. And for me, summits can be really game changing because you get in front of great speakers like yourself that give you actionable strategies. So really looking forward to getting the team to get all of that organized for me. I'm quite the delegator. Honestly, I could actually talk about this all day. It was an amazing podcast. I feel like we've got actionable strategies, and for more on the how, our listeners can go to your website. They can grab your book. They can say, what does it look like to throw some money at you and get some real help? Do whatever they want.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for having me, Jeannie. I know time is precious, so I do appreciate you having me on.
The same for everyone. Thank you so much, Vance. I hope you enjoyed that episode as much as I enjoyed recording it. I would love to help you start doing better in business right now by giving you a free little ebook. It's a how-to guide. It's called The 7 Deadly Cash Flow Sins. And also I've developed a business health check for you. It's super high value. Both are available at betterinbusiness.global. If you would like to fire your bookkeeper and hire a strategic bookkeeper to start enjoying a return on investment and get the support you need to optimize your business cash and profit and time wealth, simply visit betterinbusiness.global, drop me a line and I'll connect you with a certified strategic bookkeeper near you. I'll see you in the next episode.